So I recently picked up these headphones on eBay and I bought them for around £8 and a couple of pounds shipping, and they're apparently from around 1945 era. The seller wasn't sure whether they were actually military or not, but I have seen some Google images and they do seem very much like that kind of style. And of course they've got Bakelite cans on here, and I'm not actually going to use these. I did actually buy these headphones just for this aluminium band. I rather like the simplistic style of this, and I thought that I could do some more wood and concrete headphones using this band as a base to work from. Now these headphones were so cheap because they don't actually work, and the cable in here is in quite poor condition, and I would have liked to have actually used this cable, this fabric cable. It adds to the retro look of headphones, but unfortunately this is too poor, too far gone, and it's rotting. So for the drivers of this new headphone build, what I've got here is some Audio Technica drivers that I purchased off eBay. They were a broken pair of headphones. The band had actually broken and the cables quite badly frayed, but the drivers work fine, so I've actually taken those out, and that's what we're actually going to use inside the headphones. And what I've also got here is another pair of cheap headphones. I think I bought these for around £3. I bought them some time ago with the idea of making some more wooden concrete headphones, because I did quite like the band that goes around here. And I'm actually not going to use the band, obviously, because I'm going to use that old retro one, but I am going to use these little cushion earpieces here, because I actually need those, and the plastic ring that goes underneath to actually clamp down onto the headphones themselves. So to make the wooden part of these headphones, last time I actually was visiting a friend of mine who really is into his woodwork, and he had some of these just lying around, like I said in the video, and I picked them up because I had the idea. But this time I've actually made them myself, and I just purchased some of these cheap cutters off of eBay. I've just got some round saws here of varying different diameters, and that is what I've actually used to make these. So I just wanted to show you how I go about cutting out these rings for the headphones, and what I've got here, I've got the piece of wood on top that I actually want to do the cut on, and I've also got a scrap piece of wood at the bottom because the drill bit is actually slightly longer than the cutter, and I've got those two pieces of wood clamped together here. And because the clamp isn't flat underneath here, I've got another two pieces of scrap wood there, so this will actually lay flat. So I put the largest diameter cutter on first, and I do that as a first cut, and I cut about halfway through this block of wood that I actually want to cut out of. Now I haven't got a drill press. I have got a cheap adapter that I got off Amazon, but I prefer to do this by hand. So as you can see, I haven't gone all the way through, so what I'm going to do now is swap out that saw blade and change to the smaller one, and I am going to go all the way through with the smaller one. So I've got the smaller saw on now, and what I'm going to do with this is cut all the way through. I'm not going to stop, so we want to cut all that circle out. So now we've cut out that centre piece, now we're going to cut out the rest of this circle with the bigger saw. So if we hadn't already cut that guide around there, this would be wobbling all over the place, because there'd be nowhere for that guide drill bit to actually go into. But because we've already started it, we can put the saw back into the ridge we've already made, and then we can cut the rest out. So that's the ring cut out, so we can go ahead and clean this up with some sandpaper. And here also, because my cans, the actual depth of them is a few millimeters, I've actually used the same method and used a smaller saw to actually route out a inner circle here, so the actual can I can glue in place there, and it's a lot more flush to the actual cushion for the earpiece. So what's going to be different with these headphones to the last one, it's all down to the actual donor band that I'm actually using. If I was going to use this band here, then I could probably get away with just one large circle like I did in the last video, and I could drill a couple of holes in the sides and actually fit this clamp on here, so we could have it like that. But because these ones, the vintage ones, the length of the clamp here is a lot shorter, I'm actually going to use a larger circle here to contain the driver, and then this smaller one here I'm going to actually glue in place, clamp it down, leave it overnight. But what's going to happen is the clamp is going to fasten on to the smaller one, so we've got this bigger one sticking out here with the actual cushion and the driver inside. So it's going to look a little bit different to the last ones I did, but that's one of the ideas of making these. Everyone is unique, so the methods that you see in this video, you know, you can make lots of different style headphones depending on what kind of donor band that you actually get. So these ones I'm going to make even more simply, and I've got this retaining ring here and the actual earpiece cushion, and this works by fitting in underneath this material here, and these 3 pegs actually then go into the 3 holes here. And last time I actually used one of these housings and screwed it to the actual wooden housing of the headphones that I've made, but this time I'm just going to get this housing here and I'm going to use it as a guide. I'm going to make 3 marks where these little peg retaining holes are, and I'm actually going to drill my own into these wooden headphones, so this ring will actually fit through those holes, holding the actual cushion in place. Now the reason I'm doing that instead of actually screwing down this entire plastic housing here onto the wooden headphones is because by the time I've used this ring and this larger ring that houses the driver, they will be extremely long. So I'm going to actually just use that as a minimum, so it'll keep the actual length of them down, so they should fit more snugly on your ears. So this part of the headphones is virtually finished. I've got the speaker in there, and it's been held down with a little bit of epoxy around the edges, so it's in there quite firmly. Soldered the wire on before I actually glued it down, and also put a little knot in there to add some strain relief, because with them being headphones, they will get pulled quite a bit. And I've also, before I put all these together, I've used a little bit of light wood stain just to tidy up that wood a little bit, and then I'll probably add some wax when I've got them all together as well. Now I'm actually moving on to fill these with some concrete, or really I should call it cement, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill it up about halfway up to this ring here. So we have got quite a large cavity there, so the acoustics should jump around in there, and hopefully it'll sound quite good. So finish this off with a little bit of cement, put them down on a level surface, and just fill the cement, pack it down, and let it set. So the actual concrete that I'm going to use to fill these headphones with is actually a cement, and it's sold at my local hardware store as a external filler, and apparently it sets rock hard in 10 minutes, and all I have to do is add a little bit of water. It's already pre-mixed with sand and everything else, I presume, so that's what I'm going to use. So I'm just using this Sharpie to push the cement down into the base here, just to get it all nice and smooth at the bottom, and hopefully no big air bubbles in there. So the concrete's set, and I'm quite happy with it. There was just one small air bubble there just on the edge, but I think it adds to the character of these headphones. So they are homemade, they're not perfect, so every time I make a pair of these, they're individual. That's the whole idea of these. But what I'm going to do now is put a little line of epoxy around the edge here and stick these in place, and then we can put them together. So here are the headphones all finished off, and one thing I did change when I came to put them together is this hinge bezel here. I did turn it around and I drilled a new hole closer. It's just that at this angle they actually sit a lot better on your head, they're a lot more comfortable. So I'm not sure if that's the way they were supposed to be originally, whether somebody took those Bakelite cans out and swapped them around at some point, I don't know, but that works out really. It actually looks a lot better as well, I think. But if you've got any comments, then drop them below and let me know. But if you do manage to find some of these vintage headphones on eBay, then well worth picking up, especially if you can get them cheap, and have a go at making your own headphones like this. They really are unique. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up as always, and hopefully you'll join me on the next one.